what you got. Up against a machine too strong. Pretty politicians buying souls for a song. Puppets won't find their place in line. But tie a string around your finger now, boy, 'cause it's just a matter of time. 'Cause you've got no chance. No chance in hell. You've got no chance.
What's up, everybody? This is the Smark Show, episode 19. I'm Mike Cap, and I'm here with...
Steve Herman, what's going on?
And I'm also here with...
Nick Trichome, I am here.
Fresh off that bear attack from last week. He's got a few scars, but...
He'll be alright.
So does 50 Cent.
Yeah.
Nick survived worse.
The bear and I patched things out. We're cool now.
Nick just needed a Snickers, that's all.
But,
What? Oh, okay. Yeah, I get the joke.
we do not have a lot of notes or anything for you guys this week. More of a half-assed show here.
Pretty much a shoot.
Yeah.
We have like zero preparation for this week's show. We're recording it extremely late in the week too. Like it isn't even Saturday anymore. It's 1:30
Sunday
on a Sunday morning.
Yeah, to be honest, we were going to record this about 4 hours ago, and we've been playing Wii games.
Mario Party,
The
all
entire
that good
time,
stuff.
yeah.
GoldenEye, all them good games.
So, sorry about the 4-hour delay for this one coming out. But
Yeah.
it
That
is
was
what it
time
is.
well spent in my book.
Yeah, it was a good time, for sure.
You got any
We needed that.
Got any headlines we can think of off the top of the old heads? Get it? Headlines?
Several old heads.
I mean, I don't have the list this week, but I mean, Cap, you were at Raw.
I was at Raw. That's
So
a
I was
pretty big
in
headline.
Philly, pretty big role for some people.
Yeah. Pretty
Keyword
bad
some
one for
people.
others, yeah. Depending on what camp
Also,
you're in.
outside of WWE, Ring of Honor was in Philly for the last 2 nights. Final battle, Jay Lethal and AJ Styles. So that's highly recommended by me. 2 great workers that are not in WWE right now.
Yeah. Some things we can touch up on, I guess, noteworthy or headline-worthy. Wade Barrett, the mysterious disappearance of him.
Yeah.
It seemed like it was a minor injury.
Which is good.
Yeah, nothing bad at all. It just kept him out for a couple days.
You
so.
need as much talent as possible right now, so I couldn't agree more.
He's-
And Cody Rhodes as well.
He was back on SmackDown. Cody Rhodes is also like just mysteriously vanished. They didn't really say anything about it.
Looks like he's playing with a neck injury.
Apparently on Twitter, I want to say, he posted that there was no fractures, but it still isn't specific as to what he was talking about. I believe Meltzer said that it's nothing serious and he'll be back.
Well, that's good. I mean, it's a scary neck injuries though recently.
Injuries in general recently.
Yeah, I know.
They can't risk too many guys.
I
going
can't.
down.
How many episodes in a row we've talked about an injury, and that's not good.
What do you think Vince McMahon would do if Roman Reigns tore his ACL or something right now? Like, can you imagine the panic mode that would go into
He'd
WWE
probably push
right
the
now?
Usos or something.
Yeah, single champions.
Yeah.
The Uso feud at WrestleMania 32.
Yes, yeah.
The long-awaited Jimmy and Jay.
Yeah, that would
60-minute Iron Man match.
that would put 100K in the seat for sure.
Yeah.
On more optimistic news, like pretty much every NXT show for the next couple months is completely sold out.
Yes,
Yeah.
I saw.
Oh, forgot about that. Good point, Nick.
Milwaukee, Chicago, Pittsburgh, Detroit.
Yeah, they sold out I think in a day or something. If I'm not
Shout out
mistaken.
Milwaukee. I mean, nothing against their city, but they're not exactly. When you think of great wrestling cities,
They're solid actually.
Milwaukee's not
bad.
like the top of the
No.
list, though. It's cool to see they sold out that
Yeah,
quickly.
and Detroit as well. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a big city too, but
Yeah, you expect that from Chicago,
I
Philadelphia, London.
really hope Philly gets a show soon because I want to go to that. someday.
Definitely, yeah. We'll 100% be going to that.
Yeah.
I would
Well, they
do-
were here.
No, I know. I'd just say again, it'd be cool.
Yeah.
When London and New York got the big shows. It'd be cool if we
Takeovers.
got one of those.
I'm just looking at random stuff on the front page of K-Side Seats right now. Oh, you can buy Kevin Owens basketball shorts. Look at that.
Used?
I bought them. That's what I was telling you about when we came in.
Not used like at
No,
like at
Yeah,
an
I got a good
article
deal.
for-
I got a good deal off of those. I got them for like $23.
It's not bad.
Yeah, so I got the Kevin Owens shorts. I saw that on Twitter. I'm like, okay, I gotta buy these.
How many days a week will you be dressed up as Kevin Owens now?
Oh, a lot.
I see the beard's already coming in.
Yep.
You're gonna,
It's
rock it to the
It's
fullest.
going to get really weird.
Yep.
We're just gonna walk into his house, his pop-up power bomb.
Gonna see me with popcorn and soda, as Kevin Owens likes to have every day. Which he said recently.
But yeah, let's jump right into this Raw here.
Yeah, Mike, you were there in Philly. Pretty eventful for Raw for some people.
Yeah.
People say it was a really good Raw. Some people, like me, say it was okay. Some people, like Nick, say it was not bad. It was pretty good for what they've been giving us lately.
Yeah.
So what do you think with being there live?
As much as I don't agree with what happened, like at the end specifically,
Right. But it was a good
can't, I can't go against the fact that it was, at least a more exciting role. I don't know. I guess that's the best word for it. Things happened, Things don't usually happen on Raw, so just for, something, especially as major as the main title changing,
Right.
it's a pretty goddamn big deal. I wasn't happy with, like, what happened in the change, but, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I can't agree more with you in that situation.
But yeah, Roman Reigns comes out, kicks off the show.
With
Actually, before I
nope.
get into that,
Yeah.
I'll just talk about this Philly crowd. Really weird crowd. Not like your typical Philadelphia crowd. Not like the Royal Rumble crowd at all. And you can take this as a positive or negative depending on how you view the whole indie wrestling scene.
Yeah.
If you're not a fan of smarky kind of fans and the quote unquote IWC,
Right.
you're probably happy with what happened. If you're in the other camp, you are probably in the same boat as me and Steve, and Nick's got his feet in both a little bit.
Not even mad, just frustrated, disappointed.
Yeah, just I guess frustrated, just withdrawn. Like I just don't care,
Yeah, it's like who the
Just
hell
kind of
cares?
going through the motions at this point.
Right.
I'm setting myself up for a decade of the Samoan Jesus himself, Roman Reigns.
I'll never get it, but yeah.
You can do whatever you want to him, but he's getting up a couple days, a couple pin counts later and spearing your ass.
Or taking out a whole security team.
Yeah, with a Superman punch.
Yeah. So I mean, how was the vibe like when the show first started?
But yeah, I'll
was Stephanie
specifically
and
talk
Roman,
about
yeah.
Reigns because that's the one everyone really cares about with his whole Royal Rumble debacle here earlier
Right.
in the year. He comes out and right off the bat he gets just a huge pop, like massive pop. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I was there with two of my other friends and we were booing him. None of us were really big fans. There was one other guy in my section probably booing him, but the rest of the place, there's a lot of little kids, especially for being like the show's over at like midnight essentially.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of little kids there, and at least in my section, I can't speak for the whole place. I didn't have a conversation with everybody, but it seemed like a lot of more casual fans were there. Like, I legitimately heard someone ask, why are they chanting ECW, and who was Sasha Banks, when they were chanting, we want Sasha. So, again, you could take that as a good or a bad thing. Good thing that there's new blood coming into wrestling. People, who knows? Roman Reigns might be there stone cold, for I don't think they're anything. Yeah, let me clarify that. I don't think they're anywhere close in terms of quality, but just from a fan's viewpoint, we always think
Right.
of Stone Cold as the dominant ass kicker. This new breed of fan might think that of Roman Reigns.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'll never be on that train, but if you're on it, this is going to be a fun 10 plus years for you coming
Yeah,
up.
congratulations.
But if you're not, you're like us. That really sucked at the end of the Raw. Roman Reigns gets the belt.
I mean, Vince McMahon comes back too. I mean, huge. He hasn't been back since like Survivor Series of last year.
So cool seeing Vince in person too, doing the walk.
Yeah, I was pretty shocked that they had him. I was like, no way, he's really coming out. And then he interrupted the match with Truth and Bo Dallas, and he pretty much buried Bo Dallas in Truth.
Yeah.
Said, get the hell out of my ring.
It's really awkward. They were just standing there in the ring, like staring at the monitor, not knowing what to do.
I remember when the match started, I'm like, this ain't ending. Because,
Yeah.
like, R-Truth and Bo Dallas on a Raw, I mean, that's going to not put
Neither of
butts in
these two are
seats.
feuding with anybody or each other. Yeah.
So, I mean, that match happened. Vince comes out, and then he just sits in the chair.
Well, to begin, Steph comes out.
Well, yeah, Steph, yeah.
Steph and Roman come out. Roman gets a huge pop. Like I said, it was pretty weird, but
Yeah.
a lot of casual fans, younger kids, so that's going to happen. What I think happened was they pit, that Royal Rumble crowd, definitely a different crowd. I really think WWE, and they've published that they've lost 25% of their fan base, right?
I saw the report, yeah.
Yeah, so, you could probably assume that a large portion of that 25% are people like us who really, love the indie guys more than the chosen company guys, the corporate champion, so to say.
The guys don't know how to
So,
talk.
you see a lot of those people stop tuning in, stop going to shows, and suddenly Philadelphia becomes a different wrestling town,
That's a very good point.
Yeah, so...
Because if this was any other time, I definitely would have went.
Yeah, he,
I was at the Rumble.
Yeah,
Sure.
he gets a big pop. He comes down. Steph's, in the ring waiting for him. She hits him with a bunch of slaps. Hitting him with some hands, too.
Yeah, that was some slaps.
That Steph is a muscly woman.
Yeah.
She, She was not playing games.
She was playing a good heel though. I
Yeah.
like when she plays like a bitchy character.
Yeah, that's the best Steph. Yeah.
Yeah.
She can be so infuriating.
Yeah, and
So,
she
her
can make
shrill voice, and
she can make the fans really hate her, which is really good.
I like they're shifting it more from the Authority to the McMahons. Even though the McMahons are the Authority,
Right.
it just I don't know. The word Authority has just like.
Well, there's no authority
if
figure.
you say Authority in wrestling anymore, I automatically am like, I don't care about this storyline. You know,
Right.
give me 5 years at least to recover from 80 matches featuring Kane disqualifying someone at the end of it.
Yeah.
On the name of the Authority. But yeah, she comes out. Roman gets slapped or whatever. Does some stupid smile. Walks away.
A stupid smirk.
Yeah. Walks back and comes out later. Vince McMahon comes out, gives him the ultimatum. If you don't win the belt tonight, you're fired. He was messing with the fans, saying, "Oh, you guys really fell for that."
He's like, "You gotta be freaking kidding
Yeah.
me! You fall for that all the time."
But he actually does it. He puts the title match on Raw, and we were talking about it. Me and my buddies there. We were all talking about before we went on air here too. We don't think that Roman Reigns was scheduled to win that title on Raw prior to his TLC showing.
Yeah.
We really think that the WWE didn't really have any long-term plans for Sheamus. He was simply the champion because of all the injuries that happened.
Yeah.
And they saw Roman was finally getting cheered after, a year and a half of him essentially failing to get any cheers. Every now and then he'd get a nice crowd that would pop for him, but it was right back down the gutter. Mm-hmm. But they saw that crowd was hot for him at TLC, so they realized Philly was somewhat chanting for him, so they pulled the trigger. And as much as I don't agree with the situation, I have to give my hats off because that's something we always bitch about on the show, that they don't give us enough swerves. And the title changing on Raw is a swerve, It definitely got people talking. I believe, what was it, their ratings was like 3.1 to 3.88 or something.
It was 3.0. They went up to 3.8.
Yeah, so, that says something.
Yeah, stupid fans.
Yeah, it sucks. Sucks for me and Steve, but it's for me. I equate it to Daniel Bryan. I was not a fan of Daniel Bryan in any way, shape, or form. I can respect him at least. I don't really have much respect for Roman Reigns, but I was never a fan of Daniel Bryan. I didn't care for his push. Thought he was a boring wrestler, but I just had to swallow it and accept it because the majority of fans like him, and that seems like what's happening with Roman now.
And this has never happened to me before. Like, the top guy I usually like, and I can't stand him.
Yeah.
At all. Can't stand him.
Yeah,
and I'm that's the nicest way I can put it right now.
I'll
honestly.
be rooting for Cena when Cena inevitably fights him because, if you want to be the top champion, Cena's coming around at some point. You got to deal with the guy.
Yeah.
So, I'll be rooting for Cena. And, of course, that'll be the one feud Cena loses, when I root for him. When I finally root for Cena, Roman will,
What a shocker there. I mean,
beat him.
Because Roman's earned his way up to the top because he's lost to so many competitors, right?
But, yeah, as the night continued for Roman, the crowd was weird. As I said, they popped so hard when he came in. Then his second appearance,
It was with Vince and Sheamus.
They kind of, way more booze than when he first appeared. I think the initial shock of seeing him wore off, and there was a lot more vocal people against him,
which I liked.
Yeah. So he comes out, gets booed, and then when he comes out the third time, he gets a mix, more booze again, and then all throughout the match, nobody's reacting to basically anything that Sheamus or Roman Reigns are doing. It's a pretty quiet main event.
It's a quiet, bland
and then
match.
right when the end hits, the crowd just starts losing it. They've been on Roman Reigns, his wagon for the past, year. And
past January 25th.
It's, the story's finally culminating. And, it's whatever. If you're a fan of the guy, good for you. But it was just weird seeing the crowd, not react for him and then going off as if Stone Cold was in the building. It was just a weird thing to be a part of. I was vehemently booing him.
Thank you.
But, a low boo does not sound
it don't
well
mean
over
shit.
claps. Yeah.
If it's just one person,
So Roman beats up the CEO. Then the top new upper mid card stable comes out and he Superman punches them all into oblivion by himself. Then he was hit with 2 or 3 finishers or something.
He was hit with the kick to the face and then the bro kick. And...
But anyway, he gets hit with a couple big moves. He doesn't care though. He's Roman Reigns. Gets back up, spears 1, 2, 3. We have a new champion.
Roman Reigns.
Yep. And this is particularly hard because not only do I despise Roman Reigns anymore, but Sheamus is not much higher up on my totem pole, so it wasn't even like I could like cheer in hopes like with the heel that he was going against because it was Sheamus, and I don't like him almost as much.
I miss you, Seth.
Yeah, real pang for Seth Rollins in my heart that Monday night. I can't wait till he comes back, man.
That's
Seeing Sheamus and Reigns being the top of the card, I was like, holy shit, what
just
happened?
makes me sick to my damn stomach,
Yeah.
honestly. What were your thoughts about it, Nick?
Meh. I mean, it's weird. I wasn't the biggest fan of Roman Reigns myself. Him winning the belt, it was weird. Monday night, I wasn't bothered by it. I went, okay, this is a thing now. I guess we're moving forward with this. It was weird because, overall, it was a pretty decent show, I thought.
Yeah, and I agreed with you on that.
Yeah,
Besides
I
that
agree too,
part, I liked everything about it for the most part.
But my thing is, like, that doesn't excuse the last few months.
The last year,
And
if
that's
you want
the
to be
thing.
more honest.
Now that I think of it, the WWE lately has this bad habit of, okay, we get one good show in, and that excuses whatever we do for, like, the next...
Guarantee the next show sucks.
few weeks to few months.
And
like,
fans will clap for it, and then they'll WWE will be like, haha,
We got you again.
We'll hide behind these claps for a couple weeks.
I'm thinking about it. I remember seeing this tweet, like, right after WrestleMania. I can't remember for the life of me who tweeted it, but it kind of summed it up. It summed up the situation then, and it summed up the situation now. It's like, okay, you had a great WrestleMania finish, but that doesn't excuse, like, a bad product for the last 52 weeks.
But to them it does, As a logical fan it does, and I think that's why me and Steve are, like, more mad than anything. Like, more than, like, how we just dislike Reigns and Sheamus and all those guys. It's more just... the crowd's popping those 2 nights just excuses everything the WWE's done to us as fans for the past, like, year and a half.
Well, like
and,
the shit sandwich it delivered.
And that sounds like, so, like, douchey the way I just said it. Oh, the fans cheering. The fans aren't booing, then what are they doing? I don't mean, I don't want people to just go in there with a negative mindset, like, oh, this is going to suck, I'm going to boo. But to just, like, flip out over something that was, it was whatever. It was kind of cool. Like, it ruins everything.
Here's another thing, too. Like, going into Monday night, do you expect a good show now? Do you expect,
No.
like,
Trash.
the equivalent of this past week's show?
I imagine if I stuffed garbage in my DVD player and pressed play, I would get the same qualities what I'm going to get on next Raw.
And, that at the same time, that's a bad thing, too, because your expectations are so low to the point where even if they put out a semi-decent show,
No.
it's like, oh, okay, that was good.
Yep.
This is what's going to happen.
They beat us down.
Being a wrestling fan's weird, man.
This is what's going to happen. The Rumble season's coming up. They're going to bring back all their guys, Lesnar, Jericho, Cena, yada, yada. Ratings will go up all the way to WrestleMania again. All them guys leave.
With Reigns as champion, too.
Ratings are going to go down again.
Yep.
And it's just going to be a cycle and cycle and cycle. It's going to be 3 down to, like, less than 2, and then it'll be back up to 5 like WrestleMania season. Every time. It's going to happen all the time now.
And at the end of the show, after everything went dark, Roman Reigns cut a promo, like, for the people of Philadelphia, and he, it's supposed to be, like, the heartwarming, thank you so much for booing me at the Royal Rumble, really put things into perspective. I really had to work harder, and I just want to thank you guys, whatever. This is the same guy who, after that Royal Rumble, he came out in an interview and said wrestling fans essentially aren't allowed to critique the product if they've never wrestled professionally because they don't know anything about it. Same guy, so, whatever, fuck yourself. Like, you don't mean any of that. You don't need to give us fake whatever.
Fake words.
Yeah. You didn't change anything, at least not the things that people were booing about. I'll give him credit that his moveset has been, like, I wouldn't say it's expanded much more, but he's gotten more crisp with it. You can't deny that his Superman punches connect a lot more. The basement drop kick works better. He hasn't really added much more to his arsenal, but, like that power bomb, the one-arm power bomb, he does a lot more. That's a cool-looking move.
That's move number 6.
Yeah.
There you
but
go.
that's what I'm saying. Like, what did you improve on from last WrestleMania? You beat more people and still didn't lose a singles match?
You still bought your promos. You still are, in my opinion, a horrible seller, in my opinion.
What people were bitching about at that last Royal Rumble is you were shot to the top without, earning, quote unquote, your way. This is scripted, so when we say earning, we don't mean like just winning matches. We mean earning outside of the wrestling business, like winning fans over outside of wrestling. When kayfabe's dead, like, are you still, a valued member of the wrestling community? That's what we mean by earned it. Someone like an Owens or an Ambrose or, someone who's put in work like
John
a Ziggler
Cena.
or a Barrett or a Cody Rhodes. Like, those guys have earned opportunities.
Like John Cena as well. I mean,
Yeah.
just to go outside. I mean, I know he's had a lot of titles, but he's worked his ass off. He's been in the company for 15 years, 13 years.
Roman's squashed the Big Show 19 times, beat Bray Wyatt and beat Randy Orton, and he has had 2 title shots. One of which was at the main event of WrestleMania. He's won the Royal Rumble, and he looks poised to main event WrestleMania again this year. And the year before this, he was the second to last entrant in the Royal Rumble. Like,
What is he?
I get you want the guy to look strong, but how is he supposed to be an underdog figure to us? And like, his rise is so triumphant. He had to overcome so many obstacles.
When's he lost a match?
Yeah, it takes 50. It takes 15 people to beat him. If I'm like watching a boxing match and they put a boxer in the red corner and then they put like 19 dudes in the other corner and the dude beats up 18 of them and falls to the last one, I'm not going to be like, that guy was the underdog in the fight, He was clearly the superior competitor in every way, shape, and form.
Yeah.
And some like bullshit hijinks cost him the win, but like otherwise he would have dominated.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is. We had been saying on here, if they're going to give the belt to Reigns, just do it already and get it over with. So in that regard, whatever, it's done at least now. We don't have to speculate that he's going to wait until Mania to get it.
It could be worse, though.
Yeah.
It could be a lot worse.
The League of Nations looks to be jobbed out to him
They
leading
look
up to
like they're already
Rumble.
done.
Yeah. Maybe they'll feed them to the Wyatts or something at least.
Yeah.
But more likely they'll probably be fed up to the to Roman Reigns going to the Rumble.
Yeah.
We were talking about this before we went on. Just get it on air here. Just kind of like our little predictions going into the Royal Rumble. Just judging by this past Raw on TLC. It's been a lot of rumors with like Bray Wyatt. You want to talk about that?
Oh, yeah. I heard some rumors, speculation that Brock Lesnar and Bray Wyatt is maybe penciled in for WrestleMania 32.
Mm-hmm. And we also heard
Now, where did
the
that come
Owens
from?
Lesnar.
WrestleChat.net.
Okay, because like previous to that, it was rumors about Kevin
Yeah,
Owens.
yeah.
What happened there?
I just read it was Lesnar and Wyatt. There was no reason behind it or anything.
For all we
But
know,
we don't know. It could be
some Russian
Yeah,
kid in the
it's
basement
just-
somewhere made these up. For all we know, but
Yeah, Wyatt Lesnar seems a bit weird to me.
there's situations where it could work, and we
It could
were
work with
talking about
Heyman and
this.
Wyatt, but yeah.
If just like from a booking standpoint, Roman Reigns has the belt right now. Say he feuds with
Cena.
or Sheamus. The logical.
Oh,
They get the
what, a
rubber
Rumble?
match. Yeah, they get the rubber match at Mania. Maybe he wins it, or maybe he. Let's go this route. Since they always want star power, especially going into this. Roman Reigns takes his belt to Royal Rumble. Vince McMahon's furious about and I fully expected him, and I still possibly do, to have that belt like taken in some way, shape, or form in
I
this
don't
next
see
Raw.
it.
No, not stripped from him, but like they'll steal the physical belt, and he's gonna have to like fight through. Just a bunch of those kind of like overcoming
Gotcha.
triumph things. But anyway, he gets to Rumble, still has his belt intact, and the corporation or the authority says, it's our last resort. Brock Lesnar. He comes back, takes the belt from Roman Reigns, sets up their rematch at WrestleMania 30, where you could have Owens or someone win the Rumble and go into it. There's a lot of cool things that they could do with Reigns as champion, but it just seems like the route that they're probably going to take is the boring.
The boring, easy route.
Yeah,
Just get Reigns
put a
over.
bunch of guys against them, let them win. Put a
bunch
bunch of
of
guys, let 'em win.
bunch of legendary guys, and just have them win clean.
He already did it on SmackDown. And I think he beat up like 9 security guards or
Yep,
something.
I
by
watched it
himself.
on YouTube.
And, people will be like, Stone Cold did that, you guys would be cheering. Yeah, because that was, like, Stone Cold's own character that, like, I don't know, he made himself.
Who the hell's Roman Reigns'
Roman
character?
Reigns, like, they just steal
The
from
last true
past
member of the
wrestlers.
Shield, maybe? I don't know.
They just steal from past wrestlers when it's, like, pertinent for Roman Reigns' current storyline. And that's not to say that wrestlers don't borrow things from each other all the time, because, it happens. But
It happens.
it's been like so clear cut that he was originally Cena, like they were trying with those stupid cheesy promos.
Still
putting
with
in
Cena, but
the
yeah.
breast cancer awareness and the kids with everything. Then he gets the Daniel Bryan story, like exact Daniel Bryan storyline versus the Authority. Then that wasn't working. Now they're trying to book him like Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's like, it could be cool, but I'd root
too
for you
late.
if you had your own character.
He doesn't have his own character.
Make your own person. Stop using the Shield gear and everything. Stop taking every page from Bryan, Cena, and Austin. Just go out there and do it your own shit.
Be yourself.
Do a
And I know
thing.
creative limits these guys a lot in today's WWE, but
If you're Roman Reigns, he should be allowed to do whatever he wants,
Yeah.
right? Because
we see Stone Cold tweeted Cesaro about like a month ago, and Cesaro went out for injury, and he said, when you come back, fuck the politics, go to the top of the company. And, you want to say the same thing to Roman Reigns, but, like, making his own character to stick around, because what I think's going to happen is he's just going to keep beating people. It'll be cool for a month or two. Everyone will be like, yeah, this guy kicks ass.
oh, this guy's awesome.
Yeah,
No.
and then, then he beats the Wyatts, and then he beats the New Day, and then he beats Cesaro when he comes back.
Kevin Owens,
Then,
Seth Rollins,
yeah, then Dean
John
Ambrose
Cena,
finally
The
drops the
Undertaker,
belt
Brock
and comes
Lesnar,
up. Yeah, it's just going to get old.
Finn Bell, or Sami Zayn. I can keep going.
And, a lot of people say we sound pessimist right off the bat, and we're just wanting to hate Roman Reigns. And, to an extent, that's very true.
It is.
I don't like the guy. I'm not going to sugarcoat it.
Yep.
But, he's had so many parallels to John Cena, and, like, such a blatant, like, push to the top of the company from, an infant essentially being made a starter in the NBA is what it feels like with him sometimes, that it's hard not to just make these conclusions of what's going to happen with his future career.
It's predictable.
Because, everything that people have said about him, what's going to happen to him has, pretty much been true. Certain pieces move different ways, but in the end, he's always essentially come out where most people thought he was going to come out. And I don't know, it's just not good for a character that's supposed to be compelling, at least in my opinion. As we said, we're in the minority now.
Yeah, which
That
is a
TLC
shame.
changed a lot of the audience's opinions.
And that's the thing that pisses me off even more. He's been booked okay for 2 days, and now people think he's like Jesus.
But even at that, at least with myself, and I know a lot of the people, one of the main reasons why we're pissed at him was because he never lost. Like, he never, ever, ever, ever looks weak. You
Never.
know, 15 people beating you up isn't you looking weak. Any person would, I wouldn't think, Brock Lesnar, if Brock Lesnar fought, 100 guys and they beat the shit out of him and be like, oh, Brock Lesnar looks real weak now. He's the underdog. Like, no, it was 100 goddamn guys.
Yeah.
I think the same thing with Roman Reigns.
What?
It's just infuriating.
We've talked about Roman enough. Why don't
Yeah,
we
let's get
back
into
to the
something
show?
awesome. The goddamn Wyatt family versus
The Team
ECW
ECW.
Originals.
Man, how was that match live? Because that was the crowd was popping for that
Phenomenal.
match on TV alone.
And it's something to be said if you've never been to a wrestling show where they've used weapons and stuff. It's so much cooler in person than on
Yeah,
TV
it is.
because on TV they got all these angles and shit to make sure it doesn't look too brutal, especially in the PG era and whatnot. But to see Braun Strowman walk out there, Luke Harper and Eric Rowan are both huge guys too. But specifically Strowman walk out there and he's standing next to the barricade during the match, and I'm looking over at the security guard, who's 6'1", 300-pound, this buff black guy looking out into the crowd. Right next to him, this 6'2" white dude looking at him like Strowman's just 3 heads taller than these guys and double their width.
Yeah.
Just tossing dudes around the ring effortlessly. It's just a whole nother monster seeing him in public.
How about that spot with Dreamer on the stage?
Yeah, it was
that
awesome.
Was hype, dude.
We were flipping when we saw them going up there. We
God.
knew what was happening.
Yeah. The double tables.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was cool, man.
Harper
And then-
took some punishment too.
Yeah, he did.
throughout
The
that whole
3D.
thing.
He took the 3D from the Dudleys, and then what else happened? Oh, the Strowman drove Dreamer into the barricade,
Yep.
and then it broke. Oh my god, that was such a cool spot.
Yeah.
Never seen that before.
And to cap it all off, we get Eric Rowan.
With a frog splash.
Yeah, the no pun intended, the redheaded stepchild of the Wyatts.
Yeah.
He gets a win.
And
Pretty
that,
cool.
and we were saying before the show that is great booking.
Yep.
Roman was the first guy out in the tables match in
He's,
TLC.
essentially in the Wyatts' history, whenever one of them needs to be pinned,
It's usually him.
it's 9 times him, 1 time Harper,
and
essentially.
and they're like, you know what? Let's give Rowan the big win tonight, and they did, and that was an excellent match. I enjoyed the hell out of that.
Do you think they continue that feud going forward, or do you think
It's
it's
done.
over? Yeah.
It's done. I don't know what they're gonna do with the Dudleys now. That's a great question.
Yeah, I'm not sure. The Wyatts, there's a lot
What do you
of
do with the
interesting stuff
Wyatts
that
too?
people lost their shit when the Wyatts appeared in the ring with the New Day.
You mean League of Nations?
Yeah, sorry, that's
Yeah.
what I meant. That could be, a very,
Can
very
they really
possible route to go down.
turn face though?
People already cheer for them,
Yeah.
I mean, how many boosts does the Y family really get?
I think Strowman would be a horrible face though.
Yeah, but you don't necessarily have to be a face. You could be like an Edge and Christian who still went out there and did really scummy things. But
that's true.
when you're fighting against scummier people, you kind of rise to the top.
Yeah, that could work.
Wyatt's already got half the place, lighting up the arena when he comes out. They know all his catchphrases and everything. He had the crowd singing with him when he was fighting Cena, who's a mega face. So they can pull it off.
It'll be interesting to see the upcoming weeks to see what they're actually going to do with them.
I really hope they don't just like kill the momentum like they normally do.
Bray needs a big win this year, honestly. He needs a big year for 2016. I thought last year was his big year, but obviously it wasn't.
With the Royal Rumble coming up, there's just so much intrigue as to like what they could actually do with these storylines. I saw someone post online. I've seen it a couple times now. You heard it before too, but it's a really cool idea. To have the Wyatts enter staggered in throughout the Royal Rumble, 30 men, and they just dominate the whole thing. They don't turn on each other like most tag teams do throughout the match. They just work together, bang, 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 knock everybody out. Cena comes in 29, whatever, beat the shit out of him, throw him out. Bray Wyatt enters 30, and everyone's like, oh my God, are they going to have a standoff? Have them look like they're going to fight, and then have Bray Wyatt do something
his
like a
head or
nod,
something, yeah.
and they eliminate themselves. The crowd will flip because they don't get their Final Four fight that, they're promised for Royal Rumbles.
Or Final Two.
Yep. And
That's
Bray
like-
Wyatt sucks all the booze in as the heel.
That's
winning
the ultimate heel
Rumble.
heat.
We haven't seen a heel, like a real good heel, win the Rumble in quite some time. So
Well, I mean, if you consider Batista and Reigns heels.
no,
they were
Reigns
booed out of the
definitely
building.
wasn't, but he got
I
booed.
know, just being-
Batista
I'm
wasn't
being
supposed to be one either.
I'm
yeah.
being sarcastic. But another match I want to bring up. How about Dolph Ziggler versus Kevin Owens? No. Dolph Ziggler versus Dean Ambrose. My fault. Great match. They always work well with each other.
Yeah.
And, I think these guys...
I mean, look at the two people you just said. They work well with everybody.
Yeah, I know, but like these guys, I feel like it would be a more physical match, but these guys are more technically sound together.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like if one of them turned heel, like it'd be a really good feud, like just like a good brawl. And then as the match,
As that match, I'll get into the heel thing in a second.
Yeah.
As that match goes on, Kevin Owens comes out. He recently lost his belt to Dean Ambrose,
the
obviously.
night before, yeah.
And he proceeds to decimate both of these guys. This is the Kevin Owens you want to see.
Yeah.
When
Kevin
Kevin
Steen.
Owens was coming up to the main roster, it was awesome when he came out and destroyed John Cena, that music and everything. He just felt like a badass. And
Felt like a Brock Lesnar.
Then he started pulling out of matches, and he'd walk to the backstage. And at first, I was cool with it when he would just walk out of a match if he didn't want to fight, because it's good heel heat. But when he does it all the time, it takes away from his his just vicious character that he portrays at times.
Especially in NXT, he was lethal.
Yeah. So, he comes out, beats the shit out of those guys.
Like bad.
But
bad.
Jump forward, a little SmackDown knowledge that already happened. He is beating the shit out of Ziggler on SmackDown, and he gets eliminated from just beating him in the corner too long. Ambrose comes out this time, and he proceeds to fight off Owens, who hurts Ziggler in the process.
Yeah.
As Ambrose fights him off, Ziggler gets up and he super kicks Dean Ambrose.
Ooh.
So that could be a little hint at a heel turn for Dolph Ziggler. Maybe he's just trying to say everyone in the fight's fair game, but Dean Ambrose is the clear babyface out of those guys.
Yeah, I think Dolph
And
needs to be
after
a heel.
he saved Dolph and he still super kicked him, that's very heelish move.
That's interesting.
Heel Ziggler, baby.
I mean, he's going after the champion. Ambrose is the champ, so.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I want to say it with Owens, man. That was lethal with those power bombs. That was Lesnar-esque, dude.
Everything that dude does is just
Oh, I
to
love
the next
Kevin
level,
Owens
yeah.
to, like, infinity and beyond. Like, those two power bombs, he did a road to Ambrose, and then he power bombed Ziggler onto Ambrose. It was awesome. But,
We had, a piece of shit, worthless Divas match.
Brie
Brie
Bella
Bella's in the ring. Nobody cares. Don't
and-
even remember who she fought. Team Bad comes out.
They're in an unfortunate situation.
Yeah.
You see Alicia Fox and Brie Bella out there. It's like, okay, so this match isn't building to anything then.
It's still called
Okay.
Team Bella, but since Nikki's out there, they only showed Brie Bella highlights in the video package. So, Alicia Fox just walks
It was
out
Becky and
there
Charlotte, right?
Like a friggin' cheerleader. Yeah.
Yeah.
The biggest heel in the Divas division, Ric Flair, comes out. Team Bad just goes off and sits in the stands for no reason. They're not involved in this.
They
feud.
had tickets.
Yeah. It
Retarded.
seems like they're trying to make them like more like the New Day, which I'm cool with. But I want them to do it in a more creative way than just like blatantly copying the New Day's gimmick.
Exactly. I don't like it right now.
Yeah. I
was.
wasn't a fan of that. I don't remember. I think Brie lost. To be honest.
Well, Ric Flair.
To be honest, this is a pee break time for me,
Right.
and half the stadium.
Well, Ric Flair helped win,
Grabbed,
and you know what? If there's one good thing about this thing is there's more storytelling between the Charlotte and Becky Lynch feud, and I dig that. At least there's a little storyline brewing, and I like it.
Yeah, it's Becky's the goody two shoes here. Charlotte's kind of getting back into her heelish NXT tactics.
Yeah.
You see Becky pick up the tainted win.
And she didn't know about it.
Yeah, and I'm sure as the story goes on, when she finds out more and more, we're going to see a divide between the two.
And we might see a match at the Rumble between the two, honestly.
Yeah. I can't see Charlotte dropping that belt anytime soon.
I could see it Mania, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't see her losing it anytime previously.
It's gonna be
just her and Becky will be.
But Charlotte and Becky never fought each other one-on-one in NXT, so that's really interesting to see.
Yeah, two quality, top-notch athletic ring workers. So
yeah,
give them time; they could put on something really
good. They
good.
could put on a really good match.
We had Ryback. And,
Jack Swagger.
Yeah, who cares? They take on
Rusev and Del Rio.
Yeah, make them look strong before they get jobbed out later in the night.
So what the hell was the point of that?
Don't even really need to talk about that anymore.
Yeah.
That happened.
Yeah, that happened.
The New Day come out and they cut just a very weird promo. The point of it, like, it kind of seemed like they were trying to like almost like make fun of the crowd for like cheering for the heels, but then at the same time they were trying to like give like a respect, but still. Like, we're competitors, kind of like Edge and Christian and the Dudleys and the Hardys.
Yeah.
And I understand maybe what the writers thought, would happen with that segment, but it really didn't play out well for me. All I saw was the New Day come out there and they brought up legitimate points that any sane person would agree with. They invited their, competitors out to the ring. They're like, you guys did a hell of a good job. And, hats off to you, everybody. Let's cheer for that match. They respectfully waited for them to leave the ring, and then they started celebrating for their win.
Yeah.
And then like the faces just come and like attack them.
The problem was with that is Usos and Lucha Dragons aren't the best talkers in the world.
No, not at all.
Kalisto's got some. He can improve.
We haven't seen much from the Lucha Dragons,
but Usos just really can't talk that well. And I had a different viewpoint. I thought it was kind of cool. I thought it was a different side of the New Day. It was kind of weird, but. I kind of dug it. I mean, it gives more storyline progression with the tag team division, in my opinion.
Yeah,
but that's one thing I won't.
It puts a respect between them.
Yeah,
but at the same time, like the New Day are already pretty over for heels. Like they already get a lot of cheers for heels.
Yes,
I just didn't see them like congratulating their co-workers.
Yeah, but that's kind of what the New Day was at first when they were faces. Even though they weren't over, they would. Be like cool with everybody, but obviously that's not what they are now. They're heels. But I got what you mean.
Just a weird segment. It worked for you, didn't work for me.
Yeah.
Not everything's gonna be a hit out of the ballpark.
Definitely.
We talked about Reigns. He just wins everything, and that was pretty much Raw.
Roman always wins.
Yeah, Roman always wins. LOL, LOL. Reigns wins.
That's the new catchphrase, guys.
Yeah.
Get used to that one.
You brought up the point about the Lucha Dragons and just, English being one of their weaknesses. But Kalisto did bring up the point to Xavier Woods. He goes, "You threw the trombone at my back." And
I
remember he did say that, yeah.
I mean, that was one of the highlights of TLC. Him just throwing the trombone.
Yeah, Kalisto's, I think, has so much potential.
I heard a commentary was like particularly awful for this week. See, I didn't watch the show live, or I didn't watch like the show on TV yet.
Yeah. I kind of completely tuned it out. To be honest,
I just heard they were like.
I heard
way
words
worse
coming
usual.
out of the TV, but I can't tell you what.
And that's the same thing I could say what Nick just said. I don't even pay attention to them, honestly, because they're just that bad.
I was reading when Xavier was on commentary the other week. I don't even listen to commentary anymore. They're that bad. I just tune them out half the time.
All right.
But like apparently, like throughout the match, JBL was talking about like a Cadillac for the majority of it. And Xavier Woods is just like G-checked him on the commentary team, like, oh, you know what? That doesn't have anything to do with the wrestling match going on right now. You know, this $45,000 Cadillac.
Oh my God.
Whatever. Xavier's awesome.
Yeah, he is. But
Glad to see them return to like their true New Day role next week. Hopefully.
Oh, they will. They will.
Yeah, that's Raw.
Yeah, there wasn't anything else notable. No page.
Real big news. The title change. Take it how you want it. We're not too happy here for the most part, but you know you just got to deal with it.
One more thing, Ty Breeze did get jobbed out to Neville, and Miz was trying to be a director. So
yeah, and then he gets jobbed out to Titus later in the week. Spoiler alert.
2 minutes.
Yep, have fun with that. Glad you got called up, buddy.
So TakeOver.
This is why.
Cool.
Remember when you were like, Mike, why are you not excited for Ziggler versus Breeze? There's like two of your favorite guys.
Yeah.
This is why I was not excited for Breeze to be up on the main roster.
Because they didn't have anything for him besides that.
Yep, he'll be on the Rose patch or whatever with Adam Rose.
We'll
probably
be on
in 2 months or
Superstars in
something.
their own time.
Yeah, your second major feud with Goldust, who's like 45 now, not looking great for you, buddy.
Yeah. So,
What if Goldust goes over on him too?
after a eventful Raw,
TakeOver was cool.
TakeOver was fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's to say the least.
NXT effing London TakeOver. Great show, as always.
Yeah.
They just always hit it out of the damn park. And, they're going to sound like, oh, the internet fans. Bullshit. These guys, this is so different from the main roster, it's ridiculous. I mean, I don't know if you guys can agree with me or not, but just the way they book the matches, the style of the matches, it's just not WWE-esque at all. It's just a lot different, in my opinion.
Yeah, you almost feel bad for the main roster workers because you know how limited their moveset is.
Yeah.
The thing with NXT, and you'll get it a lot, the chant, this is wrestling instead of this is awesome,
Yeah.
because these guys are developing. They're trying to develop into better wrestlers. How do you do that? Let them wrestle.
Yeah.
WWE gets caught up in so much dumb shit on the main roster half the time that they forget, people want to see a wrestling match. That's what they came here for. The story is a big part of it, but it's secondary. The story drives along what happens in the ring.
They want to see them tell a story and put on a hell of a match.
And that's what these guys and girls did in NXT. Every match was great.
The
The worst match on here would have been a top match on most pay-per-views from 2015 from the main roster.
So, why don't we just kick it off with the first match?
Asuka and Emma.
How about but Triple H kicked it off, too.
Yeah. One thing I didn't like about that, though, is they're trying to sell that he's still injured on the main roster.
Yeah.
On SmackDown this week, Roman comes out and says that he's hurt, but he hasn't been seen, even though he's at NXT.
Right.
So some continuity.
Some errors.
Yeah, kind of fucked up there, but it's whatever.
Right.
I wish he would be out longer if you're going to sell Roman as this just unstoppable, Lesnar, Batista kind of force now. I wish they would play off the injury more, but it is what it is. Triple H kicks it off.
Fans
awesome.
are hype as hell.
I would be too, dude.
Yeah, I would be too.
And before we get into the card, that might have been the greatest crowd I've ever had the pleasure of watching a show with.
I was honored to see that crowd.
Yeah, they were so much fun. There's a times where the chants got a little ridiculous, during the matches they didn't make any sense, but you could just tell those people were just having so much fun. And when the crowd's having fun, it's very hard to not have fun.
And it helps. The wrestlers were saying it made them feel like kids again.
Yeah,
and
Bailey, I saw that.
That's great to hear. That's awesome.
So Asuka and Emma kick off the show.
Yeah.
With that was a long match too. That wasn't your typical 6-minute kickoff.
And I said, if they were given time, that was gonna be a hell of a match.
Yeah, technical wizard Emma is for just so underrated for how good she is of a ring technician. And Asuka is just looking like one of the best female strikers we've ever seen.
She's incredible, dude. She is a female Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, she's got the facial expressions down, sticking out the tongue.
Crazy. She's
smile, the eyes, everything about her. She's lovable and you want to hug her just like Bailey, but you see that
evil
glint
side
in her eyes. That bloodlust for violence.
Her character has that not her not the actual person, but she gives her character this look of she definitely killed a guy.
Yeah, it's like Vader and Bailey mixed together,
Right. And she's got a more evil side to Bailey, for sure.
Yeah.
Her kicks are lethal, man.
Yeah, poor Emma. I could snap Emma in half with my fingers. She's so skinny and tiny.
Yeah.
getting kicked by Asuka. She actually probably has to watch those kicks as she goes along.
Yeah.
Imagine her hitting Carmella in the rib cage with a kick like
Yeah,
that.
that'd be pretty
That girl
bad.
would die.
Yeah.
Like if not trying to be like joking or anything.
Right.
Those kicks are lethal if she
Yeah.
connects with those things.
And you know, Emma put up a great showing here.
Yeah.
She looked excellent. This is probably one of her. Was her best match in WWE.
As we always say about these NXT pay-per-views, I noticed it's very common. They do such a good job at making the losers look strong. So much better of a job than the main roster, and they don't.
There's
do
no
it-
comparison. There's
and
no
they
comparison.
don't do it with 50-50 booking either. That's not the only way to make people look strong. Is to have one guy win a match, then another guy wins a match. Then
Yep.
that's not the only way. You know, Emma clearly lost the feud on paper, but she comes out of here, arguably the next up for a title shot. You know.
Yeah, she's definitely a contender.
She proved that, you know, her getting over with the NXT crowd before being the bubbly, jokey character, she proved
Yep.
she can turn 180, go the other way, and still be a success.
Yeah.
If that doesn't say anything to the people who booked the Divas division in wrestling, I mean, that's just goddamn shame.
Yeah.
That's a wasted talent right there.
And you know, I thought at the end of that match, I thought they were booking some Vince shit at the end.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, he's gonna call the bell. He didn't call the bell because she went for the cover.
Yeah.
And then she kicked out, and then Dana Brooke was just like chilling on the bottom rope, looked like a little kid, just like trying to get there. And then she got kicked out for like 5 seconds at the end of the match. And then Emma tried getting her special, and then Asuka got the big win.
Yep.
That was, and
Just
she didn't,
awesome to see.
and it was just a pin too. Like, wasn't the Asuka lock either.
That's not the only time we see Asuka either tonight.
No.
That's
Late. Good.
that's probably like one of my favorite things about Asuka, and it's like such a. It's kind of an offbeat thing from the actual in-ring stuff, but you can just start a feud just by looking at someone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't have to say a single word.
Just looks at someone, feud starts.
And you know what's up.
We have Nia Jax, cutting a promo about her match later in the night with Bailey, and she looks off into the distance. Everyone's wondering what the hell she's looking at, and they pan, and Asuka's standing there.
She's just standing there.
Yeah.
Nia Jax tries to.
Menacingly.
Nia Jax, yeah, she's like not only because she's Asian, but she's like that little cute little Asian girl in like a horror movie. She's just standing, at the edge of like the stairs. She's like, "Oh, what are you up to?" And then you get closer, and her face decays or some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got
Asuka's very similar to that, and her face ain't decaying, but when you get close to her, you realize the danger that comes off of
and
her.
you see the smile. It
Yeah.
looks a lot
What
more
movie?
evil.
What movies are we talking about exactly?
Grudge, Ring, pretty much any horror movie to ever come out of the east of America.
East of America.
Well, not east of America.
My
east
memory
Europe,
of
I
those
suppose.
movies are so bad. So
Just
Long time
picture a
ago.
creepy little Asian girl, generally in a dress or something, and she kills a lot of people. She grew up, put on some neon sparklers or whatever, and she became Asuka.
Yeah.
and just kicked people.
But yeah, Nia Jax glares at her. She glares back. We get the nod that these two
Little
are going to be
tease or something.
doing something with each other in the future.
Yeah.
And what's our next match? Is that the tag
The
match?
NXT tag titles.
Yeah. This was here. I'll let
Enzo-
you take this one.
Enzo and Cass, and with Carmella versus Dawson and Wilder. Dash and Dawson. My fault. I botched it there. I gave a full name. Man, that pop for Enzo and Cass. Holy crap, man! They are so freaking over. It's
Talk
ridiculous.
about
That's like New Day
faces.
pop.
Yeah.
Like ridiculous.
Talk about faces, man.
Yeah.
If WWE ever has to wonder all right, where's our faces for this company and where's our heels, just send people out down the entrance ramp in front of an NXT crowd and you'll know
Yep.
who the fans like and who they don't. They'll
And
tell you right away.
There was a huge difference between the two.
And they like Enzo and Cass, and I'm sure they have a respect for Dash and Dawson.
Yes.
But that heel hatred's there.
Yeah.
And they showed us why it's there with that match. They get a lot of comparisons to the Four Horsemen, where
Well, the Brainbusters and
Yeah.
Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson.
they'll target a specific part of your body, or they'll just overall grind their opponents down throughout the whole match. Just beat them down, beat them down, beat them down, beat them down until there's nothing less to fight for. Then they hit their move and they finish it. And Enzo and Cass look like they were trying to stop that little title run they've had going,
Yeah.
this little strong run, but
And, this was
not close enough.
This was a great storytelling match, man. Oh my god, I was surprisingly really into this match. I think I was more into this match than the one in Brooklyn with the Vaudevillains and Blake and Murphy. I was
that's
digging.
saying something too because we were
I know.
flipping for that.
I was digging this match, and I thought this was Enzo and Cass's. Man, they got me good, especially when they hit this finisher on I forget which one, but they did the top rope.
Yeah.
And they usually win that match all the time. And he comes out, Dash comes out of nowhere and gets him. I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me! He holds Carmella. Carmella slaps him. I'm like, it was all pandemonium, and then they get Enzo at the top rope. And they get their big finisher, which was awesome spot, by the way.
Yeah, great
Great
dude.
spot. It was like a code breaker or something.
I think this was the only match of the night too where I was genuinely sad at the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
So was I, but that's good heel heat though.
And that's good face.
That's good face heat too.
Yep.
That's good storytelling. Which is I was shocked they didn't win. I thought this was their moment to win, and great match.
Yeah,
When they do, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I
If
think it's
they
going to be
do.
at Full Sail.
If they do at this point,
The only team that I could
How do
see
you
winning
build
it is Jordan and Gable.
how do you build them back up to title contention from like losing? I mean, obviously you can.
You
but
know, with the amount of tag teams they have right now, why not do a tag title tournament? I know they just did the Dusty Rhodes Classic, but why not do another one?
Yeah.
And NXT always does that kind of stuff, so.
And that wasn't even won by a real tag team. That was, two single stars that they put together for the tournament,
Right.
So, yeah, they could have a legitimate tag
Title
title
tournament.
Team, yeah.
And there are plenty of teams.
Too many T's there. Tag team title
They have the
tournament.
Hype Bros, Blake and Murphy, the Vaudevillains, Jordan and Gable.
Ascension are back down there.
Yeah, you could have the Ascension go up, Enzo and Cass,
Yeah,
etc.
there's a lot they could do. If that match said anything, it's that the tag team is the division right now in NXT.
Yeah, there's a
Depth-wise.
crap load of talent in that roster.
Crap load of crop.
Crap load of crops. But yeah, great match. We'll have to see what's going further in the tapings.
yeah, we get Apollo Crews. He goes up against Baron
Baron Corbin.
Corbin later in the night. Another, just a good match.
And goddamn, Baron Corbin, man, he is getting so much better.
Oh, it's so much
Like from a year ago, man, he has improved like leaps and bounds.
so much good heat too. Baron Corbin, and I hate to keep bringing him back up throughout the show.
But he is.
Baron Corbin is what Roman Reigns should have been like when they wanted to turn him heel. His whole gimmick of, fuck IWC, screw indie wrestlers, WWE recruited me, I'm the baddest dude out here, I'm
Yep.
the lone wolf.
Another
he
former football player.
Yeah, he openly mocks, fans for cheering for guys like Baylor and whatnot. It's kind of like what they initially did with Sheamus, but they dropped the ball with.
Yeah.
And it just pisses people off because a lot of people see him as a similar to Reigns, but on a lower scale of a company guy. And most people don't want to cheer for a company guy. So to him use that knowledge of how much people hate him simply for not coming from Ring of Honor or New Japan to, just get under the crowd's skin, that's a real good heel.
And
there.
he was doing really good the other night. And with Cruz, it was just an excellent match, I thought.
I said from the jump, when he had his first long match with Neville, I said that was his Goldberg William Regal
yeah,
match.
I remember you said that, yeah.
A lot of people gave him a lot of shit because his first couple matches were a lot of his initial matches were those squash matches where he hits the end of days, nothing happens. But he's grown leaps and bounds since then.
The game changer for me was the match with Joe at Brooklyn.
Yeah, great match.
Yeah, great match. Great technically sound match that we've never seen with Corbin.
And just a brawl, he proved that he could get that old
and you
style
can see
out.
each takeover he's getting better, especially with the tag title tournament. He was great in both matches.
Getting
With,
more confident in himself as a gimmick, too. He seems to be embracing the Corbin character more than just walking out silently, doing what he's doing, and walks back.
He's taking it a lot more seriously now, and I'm digging that a lot.
A lot like Alexa Bliss, how she at the
She's improved leaps
at
and
the
bounds.
beginning she was kind of withdrawn as a heel, but then she saw once she got her character, start talking to these fans, piss them off.
Yep.
That's gonna get them to boo you.
Yeah.
And he gets a surprise win here over Apollo
huge
Crews.
win over
We didn't even
Crews.
talk about Cruz.
Yeah, Cruz is a beast, man. I
Yeah.
love Cruz. I think I've talked about this with a bunch of my buddies. I said, this guy, if he's booked right, could be the face of your company.
Easily. They have so many people, I don't want to.
Cruz has got that look, though.
I feel like I'm not being ridiculous here either. Like when I say Dean Ambrose could be the face of your company, Roman Reigns could be the face of your company, Luke Harper, if you book that dude, took him out of I'm saying he never was in the Wyatt family. They just took Big League Brody Lee.
Yeah.
That guy could have been the face of your company. Apollo Crews, Sami Zayn, Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, Kevin Owens, then you got like these young guys like Apollo Crews coming in, Big E coming in, Baron Corbin making waves for himself. Just so much young talent, and it's cool to see them realizing how strong Apollo Crews is right now with the crowd and taking this as a chance to give Baron Corbin a win that I think he really needed.
He really needed, especially after losing to Joe in the tag title tournament.
And I feel like he was in risk of becoming into Tyler Breeze waters.
And obviously
where people just weren't, like, they're like, oh, he's not going to win this feud.
Yeah, and obviously they're digging that, and he got the huge win here.
Yeah.
I mean, the end of days,
Him
fantastic
winning,
finisher.
Him winning here buys him 2 or 3 losses at like pay-per-views to put over faces.
Yeah.
And we were saying when we got here, we think he's going to be the next, possibly depending
Number
on what
one
they do with
contender.
Sammy, the number 1 contender for
And
Finn
you got
Balor's
also
belt.
figure in Hideo Itami as well. Mm-hmm. So you got to remember that.
Yeah, so he picks up the win. Great end of days.
And he looked like Cruz was trying to get his throw up power bomb,
Yep.
but he couldn't get it. He's a lot stronger and bigger than him.
Yeah. And we move on to the Divas match.
Yeah, the Divas women's
Yes.
title match.
Women's title match.
Wow.
Bailey versus
Nia Jax.
Another just stellar
Eva Marie
performance.
nowhere to be seen.
Oh, thank God.
For the best.
Yeah, and I loved Nia Jax's attire when she came out. It made her
Mm-hmm.
look like she was like a queen or princess coming out, like that she really meant something.
And, like, dude, shout out to Nia Jax for really stepping up in the spotlight.
Yeah.
She's a bigger wrestler, so, like, people who work the big style, Big Show, Kevin Nash, all those kind of guys, they don't have, there's a different level of work that they have to do in the ring than other, like, smaller wrestlers.
Sasha Banks and all them.
But, even with that, like, limitation where, like, she could lean on that, she really didn't. She went out there
Yeah.
and she proved that, like, her first real pay-per-view fight,
It was her first one, yeah.
She's in there banging with the top of the company.
I remember-
And she looked, she looked like that was...
She looked like $1 million.
That was her place in the company. She belonged to be there.
Yeah. And, going into that match, I just thought this was going to be a lot different. I told my friend it's going to be a lot different from the matches we've seen before, but it's going to be good, though. It's going to be a nice physically brawl, especially with the storyline build they've been doing with Nia Jax throwing Bailey through the door and everything. I thought this was going to be a fantastic match, and this told a beautiful story.
Yeah, and it's they haven't really played up on it too much, which I'm surprised. I guess because she's a babyface, but Bailey is significantly bigger than most of the other women in NXT. Like she just got she's got big hips, big shoulders.
Yeah.
She's tall. Like she's just a big girl. So like they didn't really play up too much like on how physically dominant she was over Sasha Banks and whatnot. But her going up against Nia Jax is another animal for her, and a really good notch to have in her belt when you look back at her NXT title run, down the line, beating someone like Sasha Banks, then beating someone like Nia Jax, Alexa Bliss, Eva Marie, Emma's probably going to be coming up, Carmella maybe when they eventually do friend versus friend.
Asuka, Dana Brooke.
Yeah, there's a lot of names that she can add to the list to make her like one of the most credible NXT champions, not just women.
Yeah.
And Nia Jax is definitely a good stepping stone. And again, Nia doesn't look that weak in the feet. It's her first pay-per-view. She went out there.
Yeah, she tapped out, but
She went out
it
there with
took
Bayley.
a long time to get her to tap.
You know how long Bayley had to own her craft to become the champion in NXT, and for Nia to almost beat her in her first night out with her? It's awesome. She hit a bunch of finishers on Bayley, and Bayley kicked out.
Yeah.
Situationally, that could make a wrestler look really weak to have their finishers be exploited like that, but they did it right.
Yeah, they did.
It's one thing NXT does. You can't really pinpoint what it is, but they do it right. And Nia Jax walks out of this probably going to feud with Asuka. Bayley moves on to her next opponent.
Which we don't know yet.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
But, great match.
Yeah,
Just phenomenal.
Great.
Everything about it was
crowd
awesome.
was hot as hell
Yeah.
for this match. My God.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to be able to find a clip, but we're trying to look for the Hey Bailey.
Will you be my girl?
Yeah, we were trying to find the crowd singing that. Maybe get that as the music for this episode. When you hear the music, you'll know if we found it or not.
Yeah, for sure.
So we could just be speaking to a future that's not existent
Yeah.
at this point.
So, did you kind of expect that match to end that way? Because when Bailey had her in 3 chokeholds, like consecutively, I was like, okay, I was not ready for that finish.
Yeah, definitely different.
I was ready for the Bailey to. It's Bailey to Belly,
Much
right?
Belly to belly,
Yeah.
yeah.
I was
Did-
ready for that, honestly.
And like the fact that Nia Jax tapped out too, was like, okay,
Yeah.
that I wasn't ready for that one. You caught me off guard there. Good
Yeah,
job.
as I said with Bailey,
It was too soon to let Bailey
Adds
lose.
another notch to her belt. She proves that she can also win submissions. She's like a Chris Benoit,
Show-
someone who's dangerous from
Another-
every part of the mat.
Another person they're trying to show, someone like John Cena doesn't give up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and like I was comparing this match earlier, I heard on the radio after a show. This was like a Hogan Andre match, man.
Yeah.
Just in our
Yeah, on a smaller scale.
smaller
but, yeah.
scale, but you know what I mean. Like Nia was just dominating. Bailey powered her way back. It was just a
Yeah,
great,
that
beautiful story.
is how you build a baby face, the underdog. Hint, hint. Creative on main roster. You want someone crowd feels bad for? There you go.
There's
You
someone.
can still have her look strong and win, but
It took
you
her-
can do it right.
It took her like a year and a half to win the damn title, and it was
Yeah.
a beautiful moment when she
And
won
and
that.
she waited for the people that rightfully probably deserved it over her
Yeah,
to begin
absolutely,
with. Yeah.
absolutely.
I love Bailey, but Charlotte was the right person when she had it.
Sasha was
Paige
the right.
was the right person. Like all these people were the right people in their time.
Yes.
And I don't want to go down the negative path of the WWE again. So let's just move on from
Let's just
that.
talk about our positive show here.
Get right back to the main event here.
Wow.
Match of the year candidate again. The NXT just keeps pumping them out.
Yep.
3 of my top 4 match of the years I think would be NXT. In no particular order. This match, both of the Bailey Sasha matches, and the triple threat at the Royal Rumble, I think are my 4 match of the years. And 3 of them being development. What the hell does that say? That's not development anymore.
No, it's.
We've
We've said
hasn't
it's like
been.
It
Yeah.
still is, but
hasn't been,
it's
yeah.
two different beasts now.
yeah. I mean, this match. Wow.
Jack the Ripper versus
Ugh.
Samoa
You
Joe.
coming from me, I'm the hugest. I'm one of the biggest Finn Balor
Dude,
fans.
Finn
here, so-
Balor, he
Man.
came out, and I was like, oh, someone's been playing Bloodborne. Someone's been playing
Dude,
Bloodborne.
that match, man, that had like a main event feel to it more than whatever they try to put on the crap roster. Man,
Yeah.
that was beautiful. Oh my god.
Like you want young guys to learn about telling a story in the ring and ring psychology.
Watch that match, man.
Play that tape back 100 times. You will pick up a thing or two.
Yes.
You see Joe as the dominant heel. The heel that you want your champion to be facing. One that fans are like, holy shit, like Finn Balor might not be our champion after
Yeah.
tonight. Like this might be our last time with our old boy Finn.
Yeah.
You got that feeling from Joe, and I think Joe's had some decent fights at the tag team tournament, the Baron Corbin thing, but I feel like he hasn't been top tier Joe yet that we've seen from Ring of Honor and whatnot. Now, when him and Finn Balor went up against each other, we saw that elite, one of the best wrestlers in the world that everyone was flipping over when he signed with the WWE. That's why everyone was flipping.
Yeah.
That match right there.
Yeah.
That was a main event of main events.
I mean, that just the stare down alone with the light stamp, man, I was just marking out from that because like Joe's face and Balor's face, it was like these guys really hated each other.
Yep.
Like you don't see that at all, man.
Yeah.
You don't see that ever.
Because that's a feud. It's not 2 singles wrestlers who one's a heel and
Get
one's a
assigned.
face, and they were like, "Oh, Ryback, you're not doing anything. You're a good guy this week.
Go fight
And,
Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, hey Bray, what are you doing? You want to job out to somebody? All right, you're a heel, you're a face. Fight for 3 months. Here's no story.
I mean,
You know?
just the
Polar opposite
how
down
about
there.
how about the when Joe had Balor in the coquina clutch and Balor countered it with the stomp.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was incredible.
Just when Joe just kept switching from the chin lock to the clutch to oh my god, it was just perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much high praise for this match, man.
So
It was-
many spots we could go through that. Like,
I mean, the Palancha off the top rope with Balor was incredible.
everything.
I mean, there were so many good spots.
My favorite part of the match had to be at the end, after Joe dominated him the whole time, he just let out that, just blood-curdling scream,
Yeah.
this is it, I'm ending this fight right now, and I was like, oh shit, bye-bye Baylor.
Yeah.
And, he hits him, gets up on the top rope, hits the finisher, 1, 2, 3, but, again, loser.
I wanna see that
loser
match
looks-
again.
Loser looks ridiculously strong in defeat,
Yeah.
winner looks stronger.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
And, they could go again. And Balor said, he was talking in an interview after, he said, I know I won that fight, but it's not over.
Didn't win the war.
Didn't win the war.
battle,
Yeah, won the battle, yeah.
Yeah, definitely, because that was quite the battle. You have Joe, as I said, comes out there. He's the monster heel. Every time Baylor seemed to be getting, building something up for himself, getting a couple combos and strikes
Yeah.
in there, shut down. Joe hit him with a kick. He's standing on the top rope about to hit the finisher. Joe
Yeah.
does an enziguri and kicks him in the head.
Those kicks were
300-pound Joe, or whatever the hell he is, hitting
Yeah.
that goddamn enziguri. Ridiculous.
Yep.
Just, what a goddamn great capper to just an amazing show.
Amazing.
Yeah.
A year of NXT alone, man. I mean,
Yeah.
Finn Balor's
that's
had.
the send-off for 2015.
I mean, Baylor had amazing matches every takeover. He fought Neville, he fought Owens, he
Yeah.
fought Breeze, he fought Joe, and etc. Man,
Yeah.
just top notch.
It's a
stellar matches.
It's a shame the Slammies seem to be, like,
All
relegated
WWE-esque.
to main roster guys because,
That pisses me off.
you know, Sasha could, you know, my wrestler, the superstar of the year, not that this matters, it's a fixed competition.
Yeah.
I generally think Seth Rollins should win it. You know, 2015 was the
So,
year, Seth, until he
I
got
totally
injured.
agree.
You know, and as much as I don't like him, you can legitimately make the case for Roman Reigns as well. But, you know, even more so, I feel like you can make the case for Bayley. You can make the case for Sasha Banks. You can make the case for Finn Balor.
Kevin Owens,
Yeah, Kevin Owens. Like, these NXT guys.
Sami Zayn, maybe. I mean, not,
Yeah.
not as many votes, but yeah.
When they know what they're going to do with these people, like when they have a clear game plan before they implement them into the system, they just work out like magic in the ring.
Yeah.
It's you know, as you know, it's fun being at Raw, as I said, but you know, it almost like that magic wasn't there. That you just, you know, real wrestling fans know what I'm talking about when you're watching a match and it just feels like magic's going off in the
Right.
ring. Like the performers are operating on that level where they know each other's moves.
It's just the mannerisms, the storytelling,
Yeah,
the
that's-
match.
that's
the
what
ring psychology is just
it
beautiful.
feels like you're reading a good book and you're getting to
Really.
the end of it,
Yeah,
and
it's-
everything just concludes perfectly.
And you know, this thing's just gonna keep getting better and better because the talent is just gonna it gets better. They keep losing guys, and Jordan Gable appear. You know, yada yada yada. You know,
Yeah.
it's just better and gets better and better.
Yeah, I just thank you to the NXT.
Thank you, Triple H. Thank you, anyone that was associated with NXT. You guys are doing a hell of a job, and keep up the great work.
Yeah, I
Main roster. What are you doing?
yeah, I'm still. I don't even want to like say it against the superstars half the time because I know that they get so.
Oh no,
limited.
not that.
Yeah.
New Day. You're great. Dean Ambrose. You're great.
Kevin Owens,
Idiots
Kevin
idiots
Owens,
writing
you're
what they have to say when they come out there. You guys are not great. You guys need to go hang out in Florida for a little bit,
Why don't
see
you
what they're doing.
Get a new job and work in Hollywood or
It's like
something. all right?
it's like the seniors in college are slacked off, and these freshmen and
Yeah.
sophomores are coming in here
Yep.
throwing all these hard shots, trying to step
Absolutely.
up to the plate.
I do feel bad because we really don't know the whole situation unless you're actually in the room.
Right.
But
But
I
you
mean,
can-
they very well could be just like
I-
trying so hard to get something to work, and it's just.
But
not.
we-
I don't though because you know, and you can't let fans book a show, but fans have proposed, you know, since last WrestleMania, you know, a million different scenarios that are so much cooler than what they've done. And, you know, I get that they can't go on a goddamn, you know, wrestling torch PWI Insider or whatever, and just, you know, oh, this Joe from Montana wrote a cool article. Let's just copy that, and that'll be our Raw script. I know they can't do that, but you know, you see just random fans from wrestling all over the world writing in these amazingly cool angles that could push multiple people and make everybody look strong, and they still just opt to ignore it and go forward with what they were doing. So
And we've
I
been-
don't feel bad for them in any way, shape, or form.
And
like
we've
the
been right
writers.
so many multiple times with
Yeah.
the predictions of what's going to happen in the future. For example, like when I said, who's Rusev going to finally lose to? I said
Yeah.
Cena like 8 months before the match.
Yeah, and like you hate to be like, you know, that cocky, like, oh, I was right, but like to an extent, like you kind of have to because they never listen. They don't learn
Yeah.
their lesson.
They don't.
They
And the same
never
thing with
learn their lesson.
I hope with
Yeah,
the Roman
yeah.
Reigns situation. it
You know, I
doesn't
hope
seem
I'm
like-
wrong. You know, I hope.
Yeah.
You know, I hope Roman Reigns turns into The Rock and Stone Cold. They morphed into the perfect Samoan human being with gorgeous black hair and muscles. So
Yeah,
Vince McMahon.
my
can,
gut
you
says
know,
no, but
love himself, but
my
yeah.
gut says there's
Yeah.
no chance.
I'm there
that
with
guy
you.
has no charisma whatsoever compared
Before-
to The Rock. Sorry for trashing. I'm just saying.
before we go back down that long winding path and talk about that for another 40 minutes, let's wrap this one
Yeah,
up.
yeah, for
We're
sure.
A little bit over an hour here.
Yep.
This is the Smark Show. You can follow Steven here on Twitter. Steve, what's your Twitter?
Follow me at Stephen Herman 10.
Nick, you want to shout out your Twitter there?
I'm at It's Nick, and you can follow the three of us collectively at The Smark Show. You can also subscribe to us to get a new episode every week. Like this episode if you enjoyed it, and comment with your thoughts on the last week of wrestling. From NXT to Raw to anything else outside of that.
We've been having like some different ideas for the channel instead of just making the channel the Smark Show specifically about the podcast. We've been thinking about different things. Nothing's concrete whatsoever.
No.
But we've been thinking about maybe doing like a Twitch stream or doing custom universe modes and uploading the video, or each of us have our own little playlist where we upload whatever videos are pertinent to, Steve has his own playlist, I have mine. We're trying to work out a bunch of different things, so if anybody out there is listening,
We also
has
have
cool
a website
ideas.
that's been sitting there for a while that we've done nothing with, that we really should get going on that.
Yeah, we're I've been actually trying to figure out how to port the URL over to the Tumblr for now.
Everything right now really is
Make-
just
oh.
a matter of timing and us being able to get into the same room more
Yeah.
than once a week.
Yeah, we work, go to school. Christmas is
yeah.
coming around, so
Holidays are coming, so
yeah, we're
just make sure you give a follow to the Twitter too. I mean, I do a lot of live tweeting for all the Raw and the pay-per-views, so
yeah.
just make sure you give that a follow.
Anything that you guys can give us you think would be cool for the channel, let us know.
Yeah, give us a comment.
Hopefully, if things go our way, we're gonna figure out some like new content to put on here other than just the out of nowheres in the podcast.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll see Nick playing NHL, or
Maybe
you'll
like
see,
a live reaction.
see me murdering civilians in GTA.
Maybe like a live reactions video
Yeah.
from a pay-per-view we upload too.
Bunch of different fun stuff we could be doing here.
Yeah.
Why on earth I would be playing NHL on the wrestling-centric channel is... I don't know why
great
that would
thing.
make any
It's
sense.
great. It's great though.
Why wouldn't you? We've had lengthy discussions about football and UFC and just a whole bunch of
Gators.
different stuff on here. So
Brock Lesnar beating some animals up. So I mean, we've had a lot.
yeah, so
Technology.
if they see a video on here about like childbirth or something, I'm sure they're not going to be like
What?
too surprised. I'm just saying we've gone off the deep end.
That was a really bizarre example.
Yeah, just saying.
That's a smart
It could
show for you,
happen.
ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, we could tie it back to wrestling. Mark Henry once gave birth to a hand. And before we go too far down that
No,
rabbit hole-
wait a second. All right. Let's sign this off proper. This has been the Smark Show, episode number 19. Happy holidays, everyone.